All right, guys, good afternoon and welcome on back. Continuing along our Wednesday afternoon here in the Cybergroup Trading Room and, of course, streaming across social media, Facebook and YouTube alike. Welcome on back for our afternoon meeting. Let's get a quick sound check just to begin. Whew, I'm going to need water and fill up before the break here. Make sure everyone can hear me loud and clear. Great to see everybody already. David, Mark here in the trading room. A few of us already on social. Great to see you guys. Mark, Ralph, Mark S, Bonnie, loud and clear from all of us here in the trading room. Perfect. All righty. Market is dumping off today, right? I mean, somewhat to be expected. Dwayne says crazy day altogether. Absolutely. So let's hop into it. Market, as you could see, Dow Jones at least down 500 plus points. It looks like, well, if it's not breaking any higher, there's only one other way it's going to go. So hopefully it doesn't drop down too far, at least for a red afternoon. But nevertheless, here, at least here at Cyber Trading University, and especially here in the Cybergroup Trading Room, we tend to follow the market. So, let's take a quick look, at least at first, at some of the side list stocks that we tend to focus on, like the cruise lines, the airlines, the gaming stocks even. NCLH, I got to go back to pre-market. It always does that. NCLH dropped off pretty sharply at the market open. Great short opportunity, especially once it ended up re-breaking underneath the $10.50 major support level right here. Heading into the mid to late morning, once this snapped under 10.50, I mean, for the most part, it was pretty smooth sailing. No pun intended. Actually, that was really no pun intended. Smooth sailing. Nonetheless, though, NCLH, that was actually a nice one. Dropped off all the way down to 10. It was shaking around there for a bit and squeezed back up since. Hey, recently on this trade in particular, I just wanted to comment on this. I don't know what the price was at. I wrote it in the chat board as soon as I saw it. NCLH, a 591,000 share print on time and sales. If you guys see that big volume spike there on the chart, we commented on that as soon as that print came in at 10.07, $10.07. There was a 591,000 share transaction on time and sales. So you know what? I don't know if NCLH is going to make the watch list, but at least for right now, I'm going to make a nice line there, see how it reacts. So far, obviously, it's moved up pretty nicely off the 10.07. But we'll see how important that level plays out to be. If not today, then perhaps tomorrow. All right, guys, alongside NCLH, though, of course, RCL was the sharper mover of the cruise lines, ended up tailing off pretty nicely from 37 down to just about 34 sub. So moved down pretty sharply as well. And alongside that, we also had, although we didn't really call this one out too much in our trading room, CCL. The charts can load. There we go. Nice drop off, too. But we tend to more so focus on NCLH. It's just easy to borrow as far as a short, and RCL as well. RCL is just a more expensive, stock, but very, very sharp and volatile move. All right, so alongside those, we also have the airlines, UAL, AAL, etc. So you could see UAL at least very sharp drop as well. Altogether, guys, I mean, we tend to focus on these trades pretty much on a day-to-day basis. When we see sharper moves within the market, up or down, we'll tend to focus on these a bit more. We've been watching these just really from the beginning of the crash. If you go back on past morning meetings that Fausto has done, past morning and afternoon watch lists, there's a common theme. There's a reason why we tend to focus on these stocks, more so on a daily basis. They provide very good opportunity for us to profit, long or short, whether it be 20 cents, 30 cents, 50 cents, a dollar or more, depending on, the way the market's moving, depending on the level that we're focused on, the time of the day, of course, as well. So, you know what? UAL, nice drop off earlier. It slowed down a bit going into lunchtime as expected. And again, it's kind of pulling back a bit heading into the afternoon. So I honestly wouldn't mind putting this on our list at the end of it all. For at least right now, this UAL trade will kind of make the side list. Come back to this just once we go through the percent gainers and losers. Checking also just on the gaming stocks, Penn National Gaming, MGM, Caesars. Looks like MGM down big, breaking a new low as we speak. So, I love to see that at this point in the afternoon. So, yeah, MGM actually will make the cut. This will make our afternoon watch list just to begin. How about Penn? Penn was actually a more volatile stock over the last, last probably week or so off its earnings back last Thursday on the 7th. Dropped off nicely earlier today, of course, could have been a good short opportunity. I know one of our traders, Michael D, here in our trading room, tends to focus on this pretty much daily. I hope he did well. I hope he caught it. Hey, similar with MGM, it hasn't broken a new low yet, but, this has been dropping off nicely. I like the way this is kind of crowning off pretty much around that 1650. So for right now, I do like Penn enough at least to put it on the main list. I don't want to make this a 30 stock watch list, guys, like I was joking around yesterday. At the end of yesterday, I think I had like 14 on the list. That's already big enough. So we have 2. We're going to try and see what else we can grab. Of course, I'd like to comment just on some of the other big movers that we had from the market opening up. And what we'll do is just go through a couple of those. Really, actually, I mean, we say this all the time. A lot of these that we've traded from the morning are near the top of the gainers list already. So if you don't mind, what we'll do is really just go from top to bottom, and no better place to start with CREX. I mean, I have to say this one, of course, is moving way further compared to my estimations or anyone else's really here in the trading room. You know, here we don't really look to try and buy and hold across the day, and we don't expect to see a stock open up at 3 and have it end up at 6 just at this point in the afternoon. If anything, for a stock that makes one big move up across the afternoon, like you saw earlier on CREX, you normally don't expect for it to make a second cleaner run going into the close. So, hey, this CREX trade, it ended up breaking higher, broke above 550, made a move up to the next resistance. Myself and Ben picked up about 20 or so cents, 25 or so cents. I think Ben was in from earlier. But nonetheless, though, Gene got 10 cents. He just got out underneath 6. Look at it right now, shaking back down pretty quickly. So I hope the run's not done. I'm going to put this on our watch list. It's hard not to, just given the move up. It still, of course, is trending up at this point in the afternoon. Just be really careful on this trade, guys. Remember what happened the last time we traded this back at the end of April. We ended up seeing this close near the highs. What happened the next day, though? Gap down. It was on the percent losers list by the time you opened up your platform. And of course, it tailed off. Just you could see here on the daily chart right here. Big drop back down from 359 all the way down at 256. It took a while. Here it is now breaking higher, at least across the day. But, just be careful on this heading into the afternoon, guys. That's all. All right, I have maybe one more sip left in my water bottle. I got to use it sparingly. Forgot to refill. All right, so what else did we grab, guys, going into today? I want to skip over SIF for a moment. I guess we'll head back to that in a second. But UNFI, man, this thing, once again, much like yesterday, it was just like seamlessly just moving up higher and higher. You would have to think for a stock that makes as big of a move as UNFI, not just today, but factoring in yesterday, the day before that, although we didn't really trade it back on Monday, hey, we have to expect a pullback. For at what point does this begin to really, shake back down? So from the market opening up, we ended up seeing this make a pretty sharp pop. I think if I zoom in on the chart, you'll see the sharp pullback too. Yep, popped right before the open, it seems like here. And then shortly after, it dragged back down. Then it moved up perfectly on the way up towards 2150. But look what happened. It broke above 2150. Seems like a lot of volume got filled at that price and probably higher, just looking at the spike of volume here. But as much as you would expect for this to continue afterwards, well, if it comes right back down at that point, usually not a good sign. And then from there, just a few moments later, it failed to break higher from 2150. And, well, again, it's dropped back down. Now, that doesn't mean it can't go back up. It ran back up, and it still is making a higher low right now going into the afternoon. So for what it's worth, I'll put the UNFI back on our list. It looks like a clean trend still on the way up going into the close. Now, again, very similar to what I said just before on CREX. If it's not breaking higher, there's only one other way it's going to go. The difference between CREX and UNFI is that UNFI, well, at least from TradeStation's point of view, it's shortable. We're able to short this stock. A few of us, the brave and courageous of us in the trading room, ended up shorting this at least as it was beginning to make that lower high earlier. So much like I always say here in this afternoon meeting, if it's going to crap out the other way, if it breaks, snaps under 22 perhaps here and holds under it, perhaps it could be a good short opportunity. So either way, UNFI, long or short, I'll just put this on our watch list going into the close. All right, so in the time I was going on about UNFI, SIF ended up making the jump up to number 1. I think it's more, well, a little pop here. I was going to say I think it's more because of CREX dragging back down. So going back to SIF, this pop from earlier ended up making the lower highs. The volume like evaporated. You could see it just on the volume chart there. And from that point, sort of the stock pulled right back down. I wouldn't really look to focus on this going into the close. I know it just did break over, what is that, 360 it is? 380? 380 it is. Looks like that seemed to have been a nice little resistance, popped above it. Maybe this could begin to squeeze back up. I'm not going to put my eggs in that basket, though. I want to see what else we can get going into the close here so far. All right, GNUS, nice pop from earlier. It seems like it broke a new high just before. All right, nice pop, second move up. Now, again, I wouldn't expect for it to make the type of move that it made from earlier on this morning. It so far has made a nice higher high, but how much higher will it go? So, for right now, I'm going to keep this on our side list. It's a lot of volume on the order book. Definitely a nice level 1 stock for our newly enrolled students to try and focus on. But otherwise, for as big of a move as this stock made already, I just don't know if it's going to be worth the opportunity. So, at least for now, I'll kind of put this on the side. All right, and as such, we'll look to kind of cherry pick, just go scanning quickly through. Usually the top 5 or so I like to go more in depth with, just because we traded those stocks, or we more so might look to put them on our watch list at this point. If there's anything else, like a more familiar name, whether it be from this morning or just maybe from yesterday, like CODX. Of course, CODX, I'd be remiss to not mention this at all. CODX, of course, as you could see, broke above resistance off of 1850 heading into the early afternoon. From that point, I mean, a fairly clean trend up. Had very few shakes and pullbacks, had a false breakout over 20, but from that point, ended up breaking higher. Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to put CODX on our list here at this point, guys. Now, it's pretty interesting because I was waiting on this stock. I mean, for the most part, I didn't focus on this at 9:30. When I say waiting, it's more so for the fact that INO ended up posting earnings back on Monday afternoon. NVAX ended up posting earnings on Monday afternoon. CODX is not posting earnings this week. So more so in the sense of a sympathy play, whereas those Corona stock related, or those coronavirus related stocks moved up very nicely. I mean, CODX did back on Monday, but I was looking for a little bit more. Here we are now, and for what it's worth, we're still going to follow this trend on the way up, perhaps up towards 21. All right, so CODX definitely on our list near the top. Markets dropping off, which means TVIX, which I skipped over on the way up. So VIX symbols all together, I feel like I'll just collectively put on our list with a red market. Although TVIX, very pricey. We'll tend to focus maybe on some of the others, the cheaper ones maybe. VXX, more $40 symbol. What else do we have? VIXY, I think. VIXY is another one, right? $32 one. Then what else? I think we have SQQQ. I forgot the price on that one, though. That's a NASDAQ 100 inverse ETF. Oh, it's a cheapie. Nice. This one's good. SQQQ. Jerry says SDS. I don't know if that one. Probably another one, I'm sure. Yeah. S&P 500 inverse ETF. Cool. So yeah, all of them. I mean, like the VIX symbols, QQQs, inverses, and so forth. The SQQQ is pretty cheap. This SDS looking good too, Jerry. Nice call. So yeah, all of those together will kind of just group together on the back end of our list. All right. Hey, here's a familiar name to a few of us. VTVT. We've done really well on this stock, guys. Unfortunately, not today and not yesterday. We didn't really focus on this stock too much this week, but we've done really well on the stock in the past based off of news. You could see just the big gaps on the daily chart. So based off of news, we've seen some big pops in the pre-market, some big gaps, and some days where it gapped down or trended down rather once the market opened, and some other days like you see back at the end of February, a big run up. So perhaps keep this on your radar maybe for the rest of this week or next. I don't know if there's any news out on the company, but for what it's worth, nice run up today, continuing from yesterday, but we're going to pass on this for right now this afternoon. All right. What else? JCPenney. All right, let's look at JCPenney quick. As soon as I finished up the afternoon meeting yesterday, I saw a couple call outs on JCPenney. It was tough just because we had like 15 stocks on the watch list. So it ended up making a pretty sharp run from 2 o'clock on the way up. And then shortly afterwards, it ended up making a pretty big move. So JCPenney cheapie. Fausto spoke about this earlier during the morning briefing, and well, unfortunately, ended up dropping back off pretty quick. All right, last one here, I think, from the gainer side, at least for right now. Of course, with the markets down, we're not going to find as much up, but PBYI. All right, we'll hop over to the losers list. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to find like too many stocks down like 20, 30% or 15%. There's a bunch already that I see, but nothing of like the side list variety. VREX, it's pretty flat right now. I mean, has a tight spread, liquid order book, so to say. Kind of is beginning to break lower. It is shortable. That's the only reason why I'm looking at this. If this was hard to borrow, I'd probably just say no and move on. But you know what? Yeah, I mean, this VREX, I'll have to just put on our list here, consider, see if it could break down underneath 1750. Looks like you had some historical support back from March. Was at 1640 the low, 1667. So maybe around that range to try and find some support coming up on the order book. I mean, first we have to get through 1750. So keep an eye on 1750 first for this trade, VREX. All right, I'm officially out of water, so wish me luck here, guys. INFN here. It's just a little slow. Nice level one trade from earlier. Short. It was a shortable cheapie, so it dropped off pretty nicely. It seemed like it was a nice short, especially once it broke underneath support, I guess, at 480. Held that as resistance, trailed off pretty nicely down towards 440. So nice winner if you're following that. For right now, just I feel like the move's done. Called out this 8 trade earlier, EGHT, and I forgot when I called it out, whether it was on the way down towards 15 on the nose, just off the bottom there, or if it was from earlier. Just it was a shortable stock trending down nicely. This stock has some range to it. It's still trading about 10, 15,000 shares per minute, which for me, is, I like to see this point in the afternoon. Tight spread, liquid order book. You know what? For right now, it's not going to be number one on our list, but it'll make the cut. I like this EGHT. All right. A bunch of other crap hard to borrow, including JMIA, unfortunately. Down 20+%. Damn. Remember, guys, we were looking for a really nice squeeze up on this stock, and we did have it. We did have this back on Monday afternoon. This was one of the stars of the afternoon here that we caught. But we're not looking to swing trade this stock, and we were hoping for a better run up at least. But I think news came out. I think it was earnings this morning, in fact. Actually, I know the answer to that. I'm kind of looking at my earnings calendar. I have posts on my wall. I'm looking here right away. JMIA. So we didn't focus on this at 9:30, but down big. You had to figure something was up. It was earnings, so ended up tailing off pretty nicely. All right, looks like Jerry's dipping out for the day here in the trading room. Jerry's made enough money, I feel like. Jerry, have a great rest of the day. Enjoy. See you tomorrow, probably. See what else we can get. Oof, look at this. Are you kidding me? I don't think anyone called out this Yelp trade yet. In the trading room, at least. I'm looking on social media. I don't think so either, which is fine. But nonetheless, what a setup. Yelp at 19. Yelp, looking at my earnings calendar. Yelp reported earnings last week. This time last week, I believe. No, on the 7th, Thursday. Thursday of last week. Ended up posting earnings, and well, for what it's worth, damn, this thing's been dropping off nicely today and right at a major support. It's shortable. Low of the day here, Yelp. This one will make the top of the list. I like this one a lot. All right. You know what? I'll tell you guys, we have a good list. I don't want to pad it up too much. I never like to do that, although I always say I'm pretty susceptible to do that. COTY, Cody, kind of slow, down big, shortable at least. Checking on CAR, we followed this across the last week or two, I believe. It's dropping off pretty nicely, or it was from earlier. I like the range on this. Jerry just wrote in the chat board right now, guys. He says 24-year anniversary. Wife will kill me later. Jerry, congratulations. Happy anniversary there. And you're probably right. Just after 24 years, you know your wife better than anyone else. So get ready, sir. You have a nice night to enjoy. So looks like CAR, at least for the meantime, guys. I mean, I like the range on this stock from market open to right now, going from 12.39 down to 10.31. Order book liquid. Just I'm gonna run a scan quick. I think this one's gonna make our list, but that will just about do it. All right, so I'm gonna run a quick scan, guys, and let me see if there's anything else in the chat board. Otherwise, let me know. I don't think I see anything. And Peter says CREX was a good one. This was at 2:44, so about 6 minutes ago. You know what? I think car is going to make our list. I like this one. So just right away, car we'll put on. Yeah, it was making a new high earlier, Peter. I mean, pulling back now. I hope it doesn't crash under 550 and just tank into the close. I don't think we're able to short this stock. How about this one, guys? This one just popped up on my radar. I mean, this one's up 15%, so it's on the gainer side. It's kind of climbing up there. I skipped over it, and I guess it just happened when I started the meeting. But what is this? ORGS, crazy pop going into 230. Where's my Benzinga Pro? Here we go. All right, so let me just do some digging here. ORGS, just going to look to see what the news is on this stock. So this happened at 2:23, shortly before we started this meeting, actually. I posted here in the chat board, posted here on social. So this ORGS trade announces cell-based vaccine platform targeting coronavirus and other existing and emerging viral diseases. If you were to ask me about the specifics of that, I would say good luck, because it's way above my pay grade. But nonetheless, it sounds like great news, doesn't it? Nevertheless, a big pop. It got halted. It has pulled back since. The volume has kind of crapped out a bit. So I hope that the run's not done on this. I hope that this isn't just like a pump and dump and that's it. Just be careful on this. At this point, the spread is pretty big. I mean, you got some pretty thin orders on the bid and the ask as well right now. So this one will make the cut just given the recent news that came out, the jump up as well. But I'm going to put this kind of on the tail end here, this ORGS trade. All right. You know what, guys? That does it. I think that we're good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stocks, and then the VIX. So we'll kind of call it like 12 or so. Usual for me, I guess. Not too big, though, altogether. I usually feel bad when I have like 14, 15 stocks on the list. It's just very difficult to try and pick, from the litter and just try and catch it right at the perfect moment, especially aside from these stocks, guys. And for all of us here in the trading room, at least, we're going to be calling out other stocks just a little bit later on. Time right now is 2:53 Eastern time. So probably in around like 10, 15 minutes, more 15 minutes or so. I'll look to rescan the market more seriously at that point. Not as if I'm not serious now, but you know what I mean. We're going to stick to this list to begin. But at that point, maybe around 3:15 or so, we'll look to rescan, see what else is out there heading into the final 30, 45 minutes of the day. All right, guys, last one here from Fahim, of our new student, saying VTIQ, very volatile stock, mind you. Worth watching at 28. He's pretty happy right now. I know that. Yeah, I mean, it's dropping off nicely. Listen, if you could short it, that would be your best bet at this point. The stock, of course, is very easy to see make a dollar move up or down at any point in the day. I mean, I feel like the stock makes like a 50-cent move up and down per minute. So, for the run that we had on the way up, it was fun while it lasted. The stock's pulling back nicely. It looks like, it could be a good short, but for right now, I'm not going to put this on the main list. All right. But, hey, it's good to keep on the side list. And if it's not today, maybe it's tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow, maybe it's Friday. This stock is going to make a clean opportunity or present a clean opportunity for us to try and, see trade again, run up. All right. Maybe not today, though. All right. So for the meantime, though, guys, we have a big list, at least for the afternoon. For all of us here on social media, if you'd like to learn more about Cyber Trading University and what we offer here, whether it be our online trading room or our online classroom, make sure that you guys call the phone number down below on the banner. One of our education advisors will pick up. They'll provide more detail, and they'll go from there. All right, guys. Aside from that, for all of our students here in the trading room, all of our trial members as well, we'll look to post and tweet the list out to you guys right now and look to see if we can close out this Wednesday afternoon as good as we had opened it up, at least. All right, guys. Take care.